6, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.
Hey everybody, welcome to the True Crime Squad. I'm Kristi Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
Well, I'm fine. A bit discombobulated. What a weird day of court.
The weirdest. This was next level weird bullshit, wasn't it?
Oh,
Today.
yeah.
The energy was so off in the courtroom and with the people around the courtroom, like, what?
Mm-hmm.
What is happening, you know?
Even after, and court ended early today, fairly, like 3 hours
Quite early. Yeah.
which I didn't really have an objection to because what the hell what is the defense's strategy? What is it?
Right. What are we even doing here
Yeah.
with all this shit? And we're going to get to all of it with you in just a minute.
Wanted to welcome Jennifer. She says she always has to listen post lives, and it's her first live. So welcome, Jennifer. Glad you're here.
Welcome, Jennifer.
And welcome to all of the chatters, obviously. Yeah.
Yes, we're really glad you're here. And we're glad you're here with us because when court gets really bizarre, it's very nice to talk to some people who understand what the hell.
And sometimes we need hive mind to figure out what the hell's happening.
Right? We definitely do. I did have a picture of Sandy that I wanted to share. I found Sandy doing a thing she does almost every day. And I thought, she's just resting up for court, guys. She knows. Tomorrow we're going to be back on this bullshit. So
yeah,
let me show you what she was doing. Hang on one second. Oh, I can't.
Technology.
Sorry, tech is eating my lunch today.
Yeah.
And I am, let's see, I'll add it a different way. That'll probably do it. But yeah, technology is kind of being a dick. But I wanted to show you what she was doing because it was so cute. Sandy likes to sleep on my pillow during the day, which is fine, except for, then there's always hair everywhere. But here's Sandy resting up. This was on Labor Day. She was like, you know what? I'm taking this day off because I know we got a lot of shows this week. We got a lot of court. So I'm going to sleep on mom's satin pillow and, eat some bread on it and, run it several times because I have a lot of these pillowcases because my cats beat the hell out of them. But anyway, yeah, that was Sandy yesterday getting prepped.
Just taking a nice break.
Yeah.
Well, I spent a fair amount of time this weekend wrestling chickens.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Which is, it's kind of problematic because I am not really a chicken wrestler, But
is anyone?
we have all these roosters, right? Because we hatched some of our chicks this year and we purchased straight run and you get all these roosters. And it's a real problem because we don't want them for meat birds. And also we don't want to kill them. But you can't keep them. You cannot. We had 9 roosters. Well, 8. We have one rooster that's kind of a they, them. We're not sure. But maybe a hen.
Interesting.
Doesn't act like a rooster. Kind of looks like a rooster, but I don't know. But so 8 for real roosters, right?
Can be non-binary. I think that's true.
That's my guess. But especially the leghorns have been real pricks, and they're big. And Scott went out to check on we had 2 coops because our little blue ones were still in the baby coop and needed to move to the big coop, but we didn't dare move them because of the roosters and you got to get rid of the roosters. But he went out to check and somebody had hurt one of the guineas and she was limping and had a hurt foot. And so we went, all right, that's it. These mofos are out of here. So we kicked all of the roosters out of the coop and just into the pasture. And then we found somebody who's trying to grow their flock who wanted them, who came and got them. So thank God they're gone. But I have a little video of them hanging around with Fiona. So I thought I'd share that. I did not video fast enough because right before this, she was laying down and they were all standing around her and occasionally just kind of taking a peck. And she was like totally unbothered. And then I talked to her and she looked at me and stood up. But yeah, she just didn't care at all. So anyway, big roosters rehomed. We kept the 2 nice roosters and hopefully all is well. We moved the injured guinea into her own pen for a little while so that foot can heal up. And she's on it way better now. I think she's going to be fine. And the guineas started laying. So that's kind of fun too. And their eggs are tiny. They're like a third of the size of chicken eggs. Well, the guineas are about the same size as the chickens. Their feet are bigger.
Oh, are they now?
Believe me, I know. I had to move them all and, well, they all scratched me. So anyway.
I'm not surprised by that.
Yes, we've had all kinds of stuff happening, but all is well. Now all the chickens are in their forever fall home. The guineas are laying. The chicken hens should be next. And there you go. That's what's up.
You didn't know you wanted to be a chicken rancher, did you?
I did not. I've been roped into this.
I know. That is true.
Remember the secret chicks he had hiding in the garage too?
Yeah, he was hiding chickens. That's hilarious. Well, let's get into court because court was bonkers today. And we're going to get to all the stuff that happened. I know a lot of you guys are talking about it in the chat. But the first thing that happened is the thing that always happens after the prosecution rests. And that is when the defense says, hey, judge, we don't think that the prosecution made their case. Here are all the reasons why we think you should acquit our client. Now, they were wise enough to ask for acquittal only on 2 of the 3 charges because conspiracy, come on. But anyway, it was pretty interesting. So that's the first thing we're going to watch is this is the defense's reasoning behind the acquittals that they're requesting. It is the state's response, and it is then the judge's ruling. And one thing to keep a close eye on here is who's actually listening to the judge. I think that's a key element in any trial.
You'll find out soon enough. Yes.
You will.
The state's case, at this point in time, the defense would move for judgment of acquittal. The state's indicted Mrs. Adelson on 3 counts: first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and solicitation to commit first-degree murder. All 3 charges, obviously, of the indictment require that the state present evidence that Mrs. Adelson intended for Mr. Markell to be killed. However, as this court is aware, judgment of acquittal should rarely be granted on the issue of intent. However, the remaining issues are different. Specifically, whether the evidence lends itself to a finding that Donna Adelson was a principal to first-degree murder, whether she conspired for Mr. Markell to be killed, or she solicited another to kill Markell. To go through this briefly, Your Honor, to prove the count 1, the state has to establish, obviously in the light most favorable to the state, the evidence would have to support a finding that Mr. Markell is dead. The death was caused by the criminal act of Mrs. Adelson, and there was a premeditated killing of Daniel Markell. Since there's no evidence that Donna Adelson herself committed the crime, you have to look at the principal instruction. Principal instruction requires that, in the light most favorable to the state at this stage of the trial, that there is competent evidence that Donna Adelson helped somebody else or other persons commit the crime. Specifically that she intended the crime to occur, and I think we go back to the initial statement I made about intent, but also that she did some act or said something that was intended to and that did incite, cause, encourage, assist, or advise the other person or persons to actually commit the crime. And for this, I think it's important that we look at how that is defined. And the most recent case on the issue where it was discussed at length is Denise Williams. And the Williams case, the first DCA, focused on what was done the day of. So in this case, it would be July 18th of 2014. And the site for Mr. Williams' case is 314 Southern 3rd, 775. It's first DCA from 21. It's our position, Your Honor, that there's no evidence that Donna Adelson did some act or said something that was intended to and that did incite, cause, encourage, assist, advise, or advise the other person or persons to commit the crime. And as Williams indicated, you have to focus on what Mrs. Adelson did on July 18th of 2014. Williams' decision says proof of conspiracy alone is not enough. And so, in the light most favorable to the state, let's go through briefly what the evidence reflects. Daniel Markel was killed by Sigfredo Garcia, who was driven to and from the scene by Luis Rivera on July 18th of 2014. Both of them were solicited by Catherine McBanowa to drive from South Florida to Tallahassee. Luis Rivera testified that they were hired by the Wendy lady to get her kids back. Luis Rivera testified that he saw that Sigfredo Garcia had a picture of Markel with some writing which he believed to be an address. They made 2 trips to Tallahassee. During both of those trips, according to Mr. Lacoste, Wendy Adelson acted extremely anxious and exhibited odd behavior. At the time of both of those trips, Mr. Lacoste was scheduled to be heading out of town, and he drove a vehicle that looked similar to the ones rented by the shooter. There's no evidence that my client ever spoke with Catherine McBanowa, Sigfredo Garcia, or Luis Rivera.
Your client did speak, however, with Charles Adelson in the chain of communications. I believe the state's wording was the train cars.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm going to get to that.
Go ahead.
Thank you. The evidence, the undisputed evidence, is that Charlie Adelson kept stacks of stapled cash in his house. There is no evidence that Donna Adelson did the same. The evidence also reflects that Charlie Adelson had a safe the size.
Okay, 2 things. First of all, the judge is cueing him here.
Mm-hmm.
You should address that. Does he? No, he just puts the judge off. Also, saying that Charlie Adelson kept stacks of stapled cash at his house. They kept them at their business. That was well established by multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
And so saying that Donna Adelson didn't do that is bullshit. She was the office manager of their dental practice. She was likely the person doing the stapling.
Yeah.
Right? So already you're like, and also the way that he just brushes the judge off.
Yeah.
I mean, the judge is cueing him like, hey, convince me of why, it didn't matter that she talked to those people because she was talking to Charlie, who then talked to them, the whole game of telephone they were all playing.
Yeah.
And he just blows the judge off. Doesn't address it.
Yeah.
Size of a refrigerator. There's no evidence that Donna Adelson had a similarly large safe. Before Mr. Markel was murdered, Wendy Adelson told Jeff Lacoste that the only way she could leave Tallahassee is if something happened to Mr. Markel. There is no evidence that Donna Adelson was aware of this statement made by Wendy Adelson. And there is no evidence that she also agreed that there was no way that Wendy Adelson could leave Tallahassee unless something happened to Dan Markel. Before Mr. Markel was murdered, Wendy Adelson told Mr. Lacoste that Charlie looked into hiring a hitman in the summer of 2013 after relocation was denied. There is no statement in evidence whatsoever that Donna Adelson was either aware of that, or said or did anything to encourage that or incite that. There's also no evidence that had been admitted that Donna Adelson was aware of the claim, that Charlie Adelson had actually looked into that. And additionally, before Mr. Markel was murdered, whenever Charlie was on the phone with his mother, he would walk out of the house to speak with his mother on the phone when Catherine McBanowa was there. After Mr. Markel was murdered, Catherine McBanowa went to Charlie's house. Charlie, according to the evidence of the light most favorable to the state, Charlie told her that his parents had just left. I rewatched her testimony over the weekend. During her testimony, she did not say that Charlie said anything at that point about his parents leaving money at the house. She testified that she woke up the next morning and Charlie said he had put the money in the trunk. She then left and tried to locate Sigfredo Garcia. She testified that when she got the money back later that day or the following day, the money was stapled together. Her testimony was pretty clear. She said a couple days later, I'm pretty sure I contacted him and asked him why the money was back. She did not say that she did. After Mr. Markel was murdered, Donna Adelson followed her daughter's instructions and used the last name Adelson for her grandchildren. After Mr. Markel was murdered, Donna Adelson conveyed the message from their family attorney, Weinstein, to Rob Adelson to not talk to the cops. After Mr. Markel was murdered, Donna Adelson wrote checks from Charlie Adelson's business account to Catherine McBenoit at Charlie's instruction. The evidence that has been admitted reflects that that business belonged to Charlie from 2012 to 2020. As this court knows, being a manager of an LLC is not the same as being an owner. After Mr. Markel was murdered and the bump happened, Donna Adelson begged the undercover to go to the cops and tell them what he knew. After Mr. Markel was murdered, Charlie kept up the lie that he told Donna Adelson when discussing the arrests of Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera. Now, the only way, it is our position, the only way that the state overcomes counts 1 and 3 is by improper stacking of inferences. They have evidence that Donna Adelson allegedly hated Mr. Markel. The evidence is that Donna Adelson didn't like how Dan Markel treated Wendy. The evidence reflects that from 2012 to 2013, according to the emails from Donna Adelson, a non-negotiable was relocation. However, after July 31st of 2013, there has been no evidence admitted in this trial that Donna Adelson said or did anything to convey the message that she would do anything for Wendy and the children to move to South Florida. There's no mention.
As to the argument about inferences, however, inferences plus a confession, and you're saying the state has not met its burden?
Judge, I'm getting to that.
Please do.
Again, blows him off.
There's no evidence that she solicited anyone to murder Markel aside from these assumptions. The emails, the text messages, the testimony, no one has said that my client solicited anybody to commit murder. The evidence reflects that Donna Adelson vented to Charlie Adelson about how Markel treated Wendy. But as I said, there's no evidence aside from assumption that she went a step further. The state has submitted the July 17th, 2013 email to her parents' shared account, and one of her parents responded, wow. The evidence also reflects that had it been Donna Adelson that responded, all the other email correspondence that's been admitted reflects that she would have sent something much longer. But even if she did know it, the motion itself, and I would ask the court to take a look at the prayer for relief in that grandmother motion, it was not to prevent Donna Adelson spending time with the boys. It was to spend, or unsupervised, it was to prevent her from spending time with the boys in contravention of the right of first refusal, not to prohibit any unsupervised contact. So even if the court were to find that in the light most favorable to the state that my client was aware that the grandmother motion was filed, the relief that the state believes was sought is not what was sought in the motion. As to the alleged confession, Your Honor, what the confession, as I heard it, was that she wrote the checks. She paid the money after.
I think we'll get the court reporter to read it if need be, but go ahead, please.
What she did after the murder is not evidence of her intent prior to the murder. And that's what Williams talks about. what evidence is there in the light most favorable to the state that prior to the murder, Mrs. Adelson did something? I think that if we were before the court on a different charge and the statute of limitations had not expired on it, that the situation might be different. But we're here for principal to first degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation. Venting about how somebody is treating their daughter is not the same as asking somebody to have them killed. The evidence reflects that, I know that the state's argument or belief is that the birthday gift is a murder. The birthday gift, the evidence reflects, was the party and the caterer.
Does the evidence reflect that?
An inference, on top of another inference, that the birthday gift was murder. So focusing on what evidence exists as to my client's statements and actions prior to the murder actually happening. According to Williams, judgment of acquittal is appropriate on count one.
Concerning Williams specifically, was there evidence of consciousness of guilt admitted against the defendant in the same way it's been in this trial?
In Williams?
Yes.
I don't believe so.
So in addition
So it doesn't really apply.
Circumstantial evidence and inference, we also have in this record the defendant allegedly making a confession, suborning perjury, and attempting to flee. As to those pieces of evidence linking up with the others, what is your argument?
Well, Your Honor, I think Williams speaks to the fact that there's even more evidence. Williams, you had the co-conspirator testifying directly that Miss Williams was involved in the planning, but she wasn't involved in the execution. All of those, the after the fact things, yes, it might be relevant to consciousness of guilt. However, it doesn't overcome the absence of evidence as to what Donna Adelson did on July 18th of 2014. That's what Williams
She brought the money to pay the murderers.
You know, that she watched.
Yes.
As payment to the trigger gun.
What I'm saying is that there's no evidence that she knew on July 18th. In the light most favorable to the state, obviously I disagree ultimately that that's what happened, but in the light most favorable to the state, which is the standard that we're applying here today, there has to be that next step, that she knew what it was for. And there's no evidence that she did. As a result, Your Honor, we're asking that the court grant judgment of acquittal on counts 1 and count 3.
Response from the state.
In considering this JOA argument as to whether there is sufficient evidence for this defendant to be a principal to the charges, the state first wants to point out the emails in this case that detail the defendant's hate for Dan Markell and her motive. If he's out of the picture, then Wendy and the grandsons can come to live in Miami where she is, and she was the person.
Look at how good Donna's got her poker face.
Mm-hmm.
Not good at all.
Mm-mm.
Who benefited most from this crime by them being able to do that. We also heard from Luis Rivera. He said that he and Garcia followed Dan Markell's car from his home to the daycare, to the gym the day of the murder, and had surveilled Dan Markell's comings and goings from the park outside of Trescott Drive in the month before and the weekend of the murder. We also saw on the defendant's planner where in 2014 she had the year, make, model of Dan Markell's car as well as his license plate. We also heard from Catherine McBanois. She said that Charles Adelson said that his parents had just been at his house the night of the murder when she arrived, and then also told her his mom had washed the money. This was the same money that was provided to the killers and that McBanois found was wet. That testimony was corroborated by phone evidence showing that the defendant stopped at Charlie Adelson's house the night of the murder. We saw the text message from her saying she's outside his house, and that was during the short stretch of highway where she has 1 hour unaccounted for on her drive, when the rest of her drive she was able to accomplish within the estimated time that the mapping software would think that she would have. We also heard from Rob Adelson and heard that she told him not to talk to the FBI. And when he let her know that he already had, she said, well, you don't know anything anyway. She also had a complete lack of curiosity about what happened, according to him, and said that, I don't know and I don't care what happened. It's not my concern. We saw from the evidence that this defendant had an access to a large amount of cash, kept her cash in a safe, and that it was very common for she and Charlie Adelson to transfer cash back and forth to each other. We saw that she signed 44 checks to Catherine McBanois from Adelson Institute over the course of 2 years. This is despite the fact that Charlie Adelson had signing authority there. He could have done it himself if it was just him acting alone here. We also heard that in 2015, Harvey Adelson bought Adelson Institute back from Charlie Adelson, and we saw on the summary of the checks where roughly half the checks written to Catherine McBanois were written from fall of 2015 to spring of 2016, where Harvey Adelson would have been back as one of the primaries in the business. Donna Adelson, we also saw from the bump video, she was handed an article with Danny's picture about the murder, and she calls her son. He's the first call that she makes, and she tells Charlie specifically that this involves the both of us and that it involves the two of us when she's talking about the article that she was handed about Dan Markel's murder. So while there is a lot of circumstantial evidence and inferences in this case, there is also direct evidence, and the state argues that her admission that after being handed an article about the murder that it involves both of us and it involves the two of us to Charlie Adelson is direct evidence and an admission of guilt in this case. And she also tells Charlie Adelson the TV costs $5, or this TV is about $5. And that's the same TV that's referenced that Charlie Adelson bought instead of hiring a hitman, and that Wendy's family, that her mother helped set up as part of her alibi and emailed Wendy about that day after the appointment was made by her father. When the wire took place, she and Charlie Adelson are overheard discussing the fact that they don't need to be talking on the phone, they don't need to be talking in an apartment. They go to great lengths to take a walk outside, to sit down by the water where they can't be overheard, to sit by the pool where they believe they're not able to be heard by law enforcement. And on the wire, we see the same pattern of communication that was seen in the call detail records before the wire took place. Donna to Charlie to Catherine to Garcia. And this is consistent with McBanois' testimony of how communication was relayed in this case.
Before you continue, Ms.
Yes,
Dugan, specifically as to the argument of stacking inferences, what is the state's position?
The state's position is there are inferences in this case. There is circumstantial evidence in this case. However, there is also direct evidence. Even if there was only circumstantial evidence, the Bush case from the Florida Supreme Court did away with excluding every reasonable hypothesis of innocence in circumstantial evidence cases. However, we have more than just that here. We have this defendant writing checks to the middleman of this murder. We have her admitting it involves the two of us. And we also have her suborning perjury by admitting to one of her friends in custody, Patricia Bird, that she did do what she was accused of. That's what Ms. Bird said on direct, and I clarified that with her on redirect. Was it that she told you that she just wrote checks, or did you specifically ask her, did you do what she's accused of, or did you do what they say you did? And she said that no. She said she did what she was accused of. And she's also offering to pay for false testimony from Bird and from Ms. Bernhardt, and even writing a script for Ms. Bernhardt to come in and recite in trial. We also have we also have Donna Adelson adopting Charlie Adelson's extortion defense during and after Charlie's trial through text messages. And on the other hand, we have texts between Donna Adelson and Charlie Adelson in 2016 where We see that Charlie Adelson is telling her that his attorney is meeting with Garcia's attorney, and we see her reaction to that, which is not consistent with someone who believed that they were being extorted by Garcia or by that group for the past 2 years. We also see the 2016 text messages where we see Donna Adelson's reaction to Charlie Adelson workshopping this other possible theory of Dan Markel's murder. And our argument is that reaction is not consistent to with somebody who believed that she was being extorted, according to Charlie Adelson, for the past 2 years. We also have evidence of consciousness of guilt in this case. We have her fleeing with an emergency fast-track visa she sought to obtain within hours of Charlie Adelson's verdict. And within also hours of Charlie Adelson's verdict, sending a text that says, basically, you know I'm next, but that won't happen, and I'll take care of that. And then going to board this flight to a non-extradition country a week later. So the state's argument is all of that circumstantial evidence combined with the direct evidence in this case, in the light most favorable to the state, there has been competent substantial evidence that a reasonable trier of fact could find the existence of the elements of this crime beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right, the legal standard the court must apply at this point is reviewing the evidence in the light most favorable to the state. I believe in Turner versus State 29 Southern 3rd 361. In moving for a judgment of acquittal, a defendant admits the facts and evidence in every conclusion favorable to the state that may be reasonably inferred from the evidence. As to the direct evidence, the circumstantial evidence, and also the consciousness of guilt evidence taken together, I believe this is sufficient to overcome the matter that was raised in Williams versus State. The motion for judgment of acquittal will be denied at this time. Does the defense, as to counts 1 and 3 specifically of the indictment, does the defense have any other motions to raise?
Just a moment.
To Mrs. Adelson and your.
Whoops.
And there you have it.
There you have it. It's not a huge surprise because often these, you never really see this happen. It's a huge bar to be able to reach.
Only in the case of the attorneys.
Yes.
But at any rate, ignoring the judge, blowing off the judge's questions, tries to bullshit the judge by claiming things that are just simply not true.
Right.
Oy, yikes.
That was not handled well at all by the defense. It's the judge's opinion you're trying to sway here. Why would you not immediately address everything they asked, like the prosecution did?
Yeah.
I don't get it, but he's been that way this whole time. He's very dismissive. Mm-hmm. I've seen him be dismissive of the judge before, and it's just bizarre.
Yeah.
Also, guys, the Adelson Institute is closed. You guys are talking about if anyone still goes there anymore. It's not even open. You got to remember, Harvey Adelson is 81.
Yeah. He's
not practicing dentistry anymore.
No, they're out.
Yeah, they're done. So now, it's nice to hear the sum up there from the prosecution of all of the things that they have. Mm-hmm. This is not just a circumstantial case. This is a case also with physical evidence. Whether the, defense wants you to remember that or not, it is there.
Yeah.
So then we went right into some testimony that I still am amazed by, and that is by some friends of the Adelsons.
Yep.
So first we have Anne Cunningham, and then her partner, Ron Gutterson?
I believe so, yeah. I'll look that up.
Trying to remember. Anyway, so we have them.
Gutterson, you're correct, yeah.
Gutterson, okay. So pretty interesting. They, proclaim to be very close friends of the Adelsons, have spent a lot of time with them over the years. that Ron Gutterson actually went to high school in New York City with Harvey. And so that was pretty interesting. But I'm not going to share anything from Ron's testimony because it wasn't a whole lot. It's the testimony from Anne Cunningham that's pretty interesting and also a little cringy. So I didn't bring all of it because it's long. But here's about 10 minutes of it, and we'll stop and tell you, to remember a couple of spots because you're going to want to remember them for later.
Of her over these, I guess, 15 years. Have you found her to be a hateful person?
Never.
Is she aggressive towards others?
Never.
Have you ever heard her threaten anyone?
Never.
Have you ever seen her harm anyone?
Never.
Have you ever heard her threaten to have somebody harmed?
No.
Did she ever make statements to you? Well, let me ask you this first. You were friends with her, obviously, when Wendy was going through her divorce.
Yes.
During that time period, through the divorce, and up to the time that Danny Markell was killed, you're aware that he was murdered?
Yes, I am.
Okay. At any time during that period, did she ever say she wanted to have Danny Markell killed?
Never.
Ever say she wanted him to be harmed?
Never.
She got upset, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how is it that she displayed her anger over that situation?
She would be frustrated, and then she would calm down, and she told me that she...
Okay, you can't say what she said.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But during that time period, did she ever do anything other than vent to you about it?
Never.
Did she ever claim she was going to do anything about it?
Never.
Okay. Would you say that she is...
Just wanted to point out real quick that throughout this testimony, you'll hear her answer the question before it's fully asked.
Yeah.
It's so disingenuous.
It is. It is. And you've been friends with her. They've been friends since 2009. And you've literally never seen Donna get angry or be frustrated or, say a dirty word about somebody in all that time.
They
And I would
traveled
say you're not
abroad
that good of
together.
friends.
Right?
Right.
They traveled abroad together. And Donna never once in all the time she knew her got frustrated or upset. And then she already has contradicted herself when she says, well, I mean, she would be upset, but then she would calm down. I thought you didn't see Donna getting upset.
Yeah. I thought that wasn't a thing with old Donna.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way she's so eager. Never, never, never. I'm like, come on. That's not true of anyone ever.
It makes you unbelievable.
Well, and we already know that Donna Adelson is no saint. Okay?
No.
We've seen the text messages.
Yeah. And the emails. Yeah.
We know. But give me a freaking break. Like, come on, lady. None of this is believable because of that response.
Yep.
is supportive of her children?
Very.
Okay. And she's Jewish. Are you as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did you find her parenting consistent with the traditions of raising Jewish children?
Yes.
Okay. There's been...
This was a big thing that came up several times with her and also with her husband. That somehow Donna's epically controlling behavior was just a part of their culture and made it okay.
Yes.
Which, that's gross, man. Just gross.
Yeah.
And some testimony that she kind of managed her kids' lives. Did she give them advice?
Yes.
Did the children, as they were adults, make up their own minds about what they wanted to do?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, you indicated that you would talk on the phone with Miss Adelson. Did you use home phones to do that during some of the period of time?
Pardon me, I'm sorry?
Home phones, like landlines?
Sometimes.
Okay. Did you use cell phones?
Many times.
Okay. Did you travel with Harvey and Donna Adelson?
Many times.
Okay. And as part of your travel, did you go overseas?
Yes.
And in your travel overseas, did you ever use any of the applications that you can put on your phone?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall which applications you all used?
WhatsApp and Viber.
And what was the purpose of using those?
Because you didn't get charged, for, and also to keep in communication. If we were on a cruise or on a land trip, where are you? When are we meeting? because they were free.
Okay.
It was easy.
So while you were overseas, instead of having to pay increased rates on your cellular plan from the United States, you could use this app for free?
Yes.
Okay. Did you use those apps with Mrs. Adelson to hide any information from law enforcement, like encrypted, so that they wouldn't know what was going on?
No.
I want to talk to you, I'll lead you forward to the date that Danny Markell was murdered. That was July the 18th of 2014. Do you recall speaking to Mrs. Adelson on that date?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and can you explain to us how you were contacted and the nature of the conversation?
I was called, and Donna was quite hysterical.
Okay,
And she said to me, Danny's been shot.
Sustained.
Goes
Do
to-
not speak to what anyone said out of court, ma'am.
Your Honor.
Please continue.
maybe,
What I didn't include in here were the multiple sidebars over hearsay with this witness. She
With this
just kept
witness.
doing it. And honestly, the defense attorney just kept asking her questions in a way that she would do it. It went on and
Yeah.
on.
may we
Yeah.
approach, please?
Please approach.
Thank you, Judge. Before we talk about what she might have said to you, at the time that you spoke to Mrs. Adelson, was it the day that Danny was murdered?
When he was shot, yes.
Okay. And
Remember
yeah,
this.
he's murdered because obviously he didn't pass away until the next day, but
Yes.
he was shot and barely surviving on the 18th. So that's when I refer to that. That's why I say that
Yes.
date. Okay. So when you spoke to her, did she call you or did you?
This defense attorney does this all the time, and it's really, really strange. She stops the person and does this weird explaining of why she's saying the things she's saying. We don't care what you're saying, lady. We're here to listen to the witness, not you. But she does it all the time. And this was a good example of it, but she does this. Well, I say it this way because.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You call her, do you recall?
She called me.
Okay. And when she called you, did she appear to be upset?
Very.
Was she crying?
Yes.
Was her tone of voice, based on your knowledge of her for the 15 years, did she seem to be upset?
Very.
Okay. Did she seem to be at a point in time where she had just learned what had occurred?
Yes.
Did she indicate to you whether she had just learned that this had happened?
Yes.
Okay.
She did.
I'm sorry?
Yes, she did.
Okay. And during the course of your discussion with her about what had transpired, did she continue with this state of mind that she was upset?
Yes.
Okay. And while she was upset, what did she indicate to you?
She told me that Danny had been shot and that they were going to Tallahassee and that she was very concerned and worried about Wendy and the boys, whether they were in danger.
Okay.
Because she did not know who had shot him.
Okay. And did she indicate whether she was concerned about Danny and him being in the hospital?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did she indicate whether she had plans to go to see him at the hospital?
I don't recall.
Okay. During the time that you had this conversation with her, was this the only time that you spoke to her that evening?
I believe so. Maybe one more time.
Okay. And is it your understanding from later discussions with her that she and her husband Harvey actually did come to Tallahassee?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to speak with her later on while she was in Tallahassee?
Yes.
Okay. And did she provide any information to you about a memorial service that took place?
Yes.
Okay. And did she tell you what had transpired at the memorial service?
She told me it was incredibly sad and painful and wrenching.
Okay. And at the time that she was telling you this, did she still was she still very upset about what had happened?
Yes.
Okay. I want to go.
One of the exchanges that happens with the defense attorney and Cunningham that I didn't include, but Fulford likes to make a big deal about her that she talks too fast and that the court reporter can't keep up. And today she said, "See that nice lady over there? She's the court reporter, and if I don't slow down so that she can keep up, she'll shoot me." It was in terrible taste. It was also a little bit talking about how Ann Cunningham has a real problem talking over the defense attorney, and that they both needed to knock that off, or the court reporter was going to be mad. But she literally said, "Or she'll shoot me."
Yeah.
And I
Really
thought,
poor
given
taste,
what this
Jackie.
trial
Gosh.
is, Jesus Christ, lady.
Yeah.
But that's not the first time that she has talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
She's very repetitive.
Yeah.
Forward just a little point in time. Did you continue to stay in contact with Mrs. Adelson and her husband from the time that Danny was murdered moving forward?
Yes,
Okay. And you were aware at some point that her son, Charlie Adelson, who you said you had met, was arrested?
yes, I was.
In the case, okay. And did you keep up with the case against Charlie in social media or news or anything?
It was, no.
Okay.
I really don't do social media,
Okay,
and of course it was on the news.
okay. Did you watch it on the news?
As little as possible.
Okay.
Familiar with the
Remember that.
statement that she could be buried in the bar mitzvah dress that she bought?
No, I'm not.
I guess if she was going to be buried in that dress, she probably wasn't, at least at the time she made that statement, going to be making it to the bar mitzvah. Would you agree?
No, she was,
One of the things that Ann Cunningham testified to is that when she spoke to Donna on the day that Charlie was convicted, that she was suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd heard that before in the statement about telling Wendy to just bury her in that dress. But I want you to pay attention to Ann Cunningham's demeanor. Compare it to the demeanor with Fulford.
always going to be making it to the bar mitzvah, as far as I knew.
Even if she was dead and buried, she was going to make it?
I never heard that.
Okay. Was she suicidal when you spoke with her? After Charlie's verdict?
Yes,
Okay. You were best friends with her?
yes,
Okay. And she would call and vent to you about Danny Markell?
sometimes.
All right. And did she ever call him names?
Not to my knowledge, not to me.
Did she share with you that she was planning to offer a bribe to Mr. Markell to facilitate relocation?
I don't recall.
Did she talk to you about plans to threaten or to convert the children to Christianity in order to strong-arm Mr. Markell?
She mentioned that she had said that, and she said that was so foolish of me.
When did she say that?
I don't know whether we were together or on a phone call, I'm not sure.
Did she ever tell you that she was being extorted in reference to Mr. Markell's murder?
Eventually, yes.
Okay, and when you say eventually, when did she tell you that?
We were on a trip to Japan together.
Okay, when was the trip to Japan?
We took so many trips, I'm not exactly sure of the year.
Was it between the murder and the first arrests?
I don't recall.
And when she told you that she was being extorted, then naturally you learned that she knew who had killed Dan Markell.
No,
Obviously, it's the people that are extorting her, right?
she didn't know what, are you talking about? Yeah, I guess, I don't know.
She was forced to make payments to the people that killed
Yes.
Dan Markell.
Remember how sure and clear Ann Cunningham was with the defense attorney
Mm-hmm.
and answering the questions before they were even asked?
Yeah.
Suddenly, she doesn't remember shit.
She doesn't know. They took so many trips. They did so many things.
Who
How
knows?
could she know?
Could have been.
Yes,
That's what the checks were all about, right?
I don't know about the checks.
Well, when she told you she was being extorted, if it wasn't about the checks, how was she being extorted?
She was, I'm confusing that with the bump, I believe, that Charlie was being extorted by Catherine.
Prior to the bump, you knew that Charlie was being extorted by Catherine.
No, I believe it was afterwards.
After the bump, you learned that Charlie was being extorted by Catherine.
I'm not sure of the timeline.
Okay. And when you learned that Charlie was being extorted by Catherine, you learned that your friend, your best friend, Donna Adelson, was also being forced to write these checks as payment to the killers that were extorting.
I don't recall.
And when the phone call was made to you you were saying, I guess it was the night of the verdict, you got the phone call and she was very upset and suicidal and so forth. What was your phone number at that time?
I believe my cell number,
Okay, what's your cell number? Just give me the last 4 digits if you want to put it.
1655.
And did you watch the trial of Charlie Adelson?
At the very end.
Okay, and during the
What?
trial of Charlie Adelson, were you in regular
The trial you
communication
didn't
with your
watch?
best friend Donna Adelson?
Yes, but we didn't really discuss the trial.
Well, would it refresh your recollection to review your text messages during the trial?
Yes, it's a long time ago.
An approach.
So basically what they come down to is she suddenly just doesn't remember anything, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Except she definitely remembers that phone call, probably 2 of them, the night of Charlie's conviction. Keep that in mind because that's super important later.
Mm-hmm.
So after Ann Cunningham, then we have her partner, Ron Gutterson, who is the old high school friend of Harvey Adelson's. I don't think that he's a big fan of either of these women. He didn't have a lot to say other than he's the guy who was supposed to help their maintenance guy with their properties if there were any problems while they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had set that up, and he made it very clear that he had made that arrangement with Harvey and that he had not made any arrangements at all with Donna.
Mm-hmm.
That was like key element of what he wanted to make sure. Like, I didn't have anything to do with this crazy bitch, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, Katie, I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah, so then we get Kelsey Guay. She is a digital forensics expert that's been hired by the state by the defense. And there's a couple of interesting things with her. I've got a quick video of a good exchange with her. Well, we've got 2. We'll start here.
Frequency analysis just with Charlie Adelson. Instead of 80 events, she actually had 69 when you take out the duplicates.
Connected and attempted.
Okay.
And the reason I picked this clip is because it really kind of sums up what Kelsey Guay was here to say, and that was nothing at all. She was here to say that she, when the original sergeant made his observations, he did not subtract duplicate calls or calls that may have gone to voicemail and things like that. She did. So she did that and he didn't, and they say in open court that he didn't, and that's why this number is this. She has a different number. And so the whole point here apparently is that she likes to be precise. But I really like this clip because the prosecution asks her a really important question. So check it out.
What do you think that shows that's helpful to the defense in this case?
I think it just goes to, when I look at records, I like to be precise with my numbers.
Okay. And when Sergeant Corbett testified, he did let the jury know that this contains duplicates though, right? For the frequency report?
I think he said that it does include voicemail forwarding events.
Okay. So what I'm trying to say is he didn't say anything that was unreliable or inaccurate with that.
I think that being able to see exactly how many can be important.
Because it's 69 and not 80 when duplicates are taken out, does that mean that Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson don't have a relationship?
No.
And you still agreed that Charlie Adelson is still Donna Adelson's most frequent contact, right?
For that time period.
When we looked at Donna Adelson's frequency report, in your presentation and in Corbett's presentation, this one, right? Number 2 on that list is not an actual person, right?
I'd have to pull it up I don't have it memorized.
Okay. You want to pull yours up?
Sure.
Okay.
A lot of you commented today that you thought that the flashing screen on her laptop was really distracting, or the flashing emblem. Agreed. Super unprofessional.
Is the
Really.
second
Why?
rating on that list
Shouldn't have been there.
No.
Her voicemail, AT&T voicemail routing number?
Correct.
Okay. So, and then third place on that list of most frequent contacts is Harvey Adelson, her husband, with the 9032 number?
Correct.
Okay. So Charlie Adelson would still be first, followed by the number of calls routed to voicemail.
Correct.
Where did you fly her from?
Portland, Oregon.
Okay. And how long did that take?
6-ish hours.
And was that paid for by you or paid for by the defense?
Paid for by the defense.
And how much are you charging for your work in this case?
The roll-off charge is $300 an hour.
And does that include the work that you did that we saw here in court prior to coming to court today?
Correct.
Okay. And does that include your travel?
Correct.
As far as $300 an hour during the time that you're spent traveling?
Correct. It's the company's policy.
Okay. And waiting to testify and testifying, is it that same amount?
Correct.
Do you know the total amount the defense has paid for your testimony here today?
I don't. The company does, but
Do you know about the amount of hours that you spent on this case, including travel?
the amount of hours on the total case, no. On travel, they just do a flat rate of 10 hours if I work over 10 hours. So for yesterday, so the trip for the trial would have been about 30 hours. So
about $10,000 just in travel fees.
Just in travel.
And then $300 an hour for her expertise. Yeah, some people are estimating around $100,000 for this witness. Yeah.
He taught us nothing on the
Zero things.
on the defense's side. On the prosecution side.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to actually back up to a little earlier in this interview. I wanted to share this because it kind of gives you a look at what it killed me that the state actually said. How does this help the defense? Well, everybody's wondering that. We're really confused, But earlier in this interview, the state decides to pull a boss move and use the defense's expert witness against them in a really interesting way. So check this out.
When you looked at Donna Adelson's records, was there a phone call between Donna Adelson and Annie Cunningham on the evening or night of July 18th, 2014?
I'm not familiar with that name.
You're not familiar with the name Annie Cunningham?
No.
Okay. What if I gave you her number? Would you be able to look and see?
I don't have the call details memorized, so.
Do you have them with you?
The original documents, I do.
Laptop, okay.
Yeah.
Would you be able to look and see?
I'm going to check this if you want the scope correct.
Please pray.
So now she's looking it up. Takes her a little time.
Let me know when you're ready and I'll give you the number.
It's a fairly large file, so it'll take a minute to load.
If it needs time to load, I can ask some other questions and come back to this if you.
Your Honor, I would just ask that if we're going to provide the phone number that we not do it so that it can be published in the media. If we can.
That's fine. Mr. Dugan, please handle your questioning on this matter discreetly so her phone number is published to anyone watching.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm just going to filter to that date.
approach the witness to show her anything that she may need to read concerning this matter.
So am I showing you a contact with Annie Cunningham?
Correct.
Okay, and you don't need to say the number out loud, but is there a number next to it that begins with 845?
Correct.
Okay, 845 being the area code?
Yes.
Okay, that's the number we're looking for.
Okay.
And my question was there a phone call between Donna Adelson and Annie Cunningham the evening PM on the 18th of July, evening or night?
And to reiterate, it started with 845, correct?
Yeah, she's struggling to find it.
Weird.
Remember, Annie had a lot to say about that phone call.
Okay.
She did it. She even said there were probably 2 of them.
I don't.
Yeah.
I see the number, and I looked at the records for the evening of the 18th, and I do not see a call to that number.
Okay, and that would be like in the afternoon, evening, or night that night of July 18th of 2014?
So starting from noon to noon on the 18th through midnight on the 18th, I don't see a call to that phone number.
Okay, thank you.
Weird, Annie. Weird. So,
Right?
then they're like, well, we need to talk to Annie about this because it appears that maybe she lied on the stand. And the defense is like, well, we did retain her under subpoena. We've already sent her to the airport.
How can you retain someone under subpoena and also tell them to fly out?
Yeah.
She was getting Rock out of there is what was happening.
Mm-hmm. So then there was a very long lunch while we waited for Annie to return from the airport. And then this is what happened.
Remain under oath from being previously sworn. I'm just going to remind you, you are to tell the truth in this matter. You may be seated, and at this point, you'll be examined. You may examine when you're ready.
Thank you. If you could pull that microphone down, Ms. Cunningham.
Oh, sure.
Thank you. I have a question about your use of cell phone service, and we touched briefly on things like WhatsApp, and what was the other one you said you used?
Viber.
Okay, Viber. When you communicated with Mrs. Adelson, did you routinely use one of those apps?
Quite often, yes.
Which app did you use mostly?
WhatsApp or Viber.
Okay, all right. And as opposed to picking up and using the cell phone service, you would use those instead?
Yes.
Okay, I don't have anything further.
Cross-examination.
So you had gone to the airport after your last testimony, right?
That is correct.
And returned to the courthouse?
Yes.
To tell us what, that you used Viber or WhatsApp to make
Yes.
that phone call?
Yes.
So it wasn't a regular phone call?
Correct.
Okay, so you misspoke earlier, or it just wasn't clear?
No, I said she called me.
Okay, and she called you and made a regular phone call on June 23rd, the month before the murder, right?
I don't recall, she made many phone calls.
And she called you on a regular line on July 20th, just 2 days after the murder. Do you recall that?
If you say so.
Okay, and July 21st,
The objection?
Yeah, the witness is not being shown the evidence that she's being confronted with.
I believe she is not
wasn't
asked,
asked you.
or she is not asked to recall, or, let me clear this up. Ms. Cunningham, do you need to see the items that the state is referring to refresh your recollection?
Do I?
Would
Yes,
you like to see them?
if I spoke with her, I spoke with her.
Okay, so you have no reason to contest that you spoke with her via regular phone call, June 23rd, July 20th, and July 21st.
If it's in the record, yes.
But you're saying it was a WhatsApp or a Viber on the 18th?
Yes, they were in the car and they often called on those apps in the car.
Would it surprise you to learn that WhatsApp didn't offer voice calls until March of 2015?
Then it was on Viber.
Must have been Viber, huh?
Busted!
Nothing further.
Redirect.
Really, Annie? Really?
What do you think the jury thought?
That Annie's a fucking liar?
Did they?
Who
I
just
mean, that's my question. What do you think?
Well, I mean, she just was agreeing to everything right up until, oh, well, WhatsApp didn't do voice calls. Oh, then it was Viber. Like, she doesn't know.
She has no idea.
She has
Yeah.
no idea.
She has no idea.
Also, they have Donna's phone. And can they prove that she was using Viber in 2014 and made that call? They might be able to. They have a bunch of Donna's WhatsApp information. It's already been presented.
Yeah.
So they can bring in a rebuttal witness that says, hey, she did not use the Viber account in 2014 or whatever.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yes. It's a mess. It's all a mess. So then we have, and actually I kind of skipped the line here, Tarana Khan. She was actually before Annie while we were waiting for Annie to come back. But she is a private investigator who was asked to go to the jail by the defense and interview one of the prison or the jail witnesses, the prison jail witnesses. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
As a licensed private investigator, were you retained by my office to interview an individual by the name of Patricia Bird?
Yes,
And where was she located?
in the Leon County Jail,
Okay. How many times did you meet with Miss Bird?
once,
And that was at the Leon County Jail?
yes.
And do you remember when that was?
I want to say January, can I look?
If it'll help refresh your memory,
Okay.
sure.
Oh. Ms. Bird was on January 24th,
2025?
correct, sorry.
And when you interviewed
not what she
Ms.
said,
Bird,
okay.
did you tell Miss Bird that Mrs. Adelson was going to pay her for her testimony?
No,
Okay. Specifically, did you tell Miss Bird that Donna Adelson was going to buy her a piece of land?
no,
What about a trailer?
no,
What about veneers for her teeth?
no,
What about a small vehicle for her and her children?
no,
Okay. Did Miss Bird tell you that Mrs. Adelson had offered those items to her?
no,
Did Miss Bird tell you that Mrs. Adelson confessed to any portion of the crimes with which Mrs. Adelson is charged in this case?
Did she tell you that, I'm sorry, can you repeat that for
Did
me?
Miss Bird tell you that Mrs. Adelson confessed to her?
No,
Just a moment, Your Honor.
This is so consistent with this defense, constantly having to, just a moment, Your Honor.
Ms. Collins,
So
Constantly
unorganized.
interviewing Miss Bird
Yeah.
on January 24th, 2025, did you meet with or speak with Donna Adelson?
no,
Have you ever met with or spoken with Donna Adelson?
no,
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
Why did you interview Miss Bird?
I was given a list of names to interview,
By defense counsel?
correct,
Okay. And she was not a state witness at that time, right?
I wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know. Would it refresh your memory to see a copy of the state's amended discovery when we did list her as a witness?
I didn't see that, I wouldn't have seen that.
Okay, so that wouldn't help you to know when she was admitted as a witness in the case?
I wouldn't have known it. No.
Okay, so you were not asked to go there because she was a state's witness, I'll just put it
No,
that way?
no.
All right. And did you record your interview with Ms. Bird?
No.
The SAO investigators were able to record their interview with her. Why didn't you when you interviewed her?
I wasn't asked to do that.
Asked by who?
The attorneys.
So they didn't ask you to do it?
They didn't ask me to record it, no.
Okay. Could you have taken a recorder and recorded it though?
Had I requested for the jail to permit me to take a recorder in there?
The jail does allow that.
I
If
don't
you-
know, I didn't
if you
ask.
get- Okay. If you get permission in your experience, is it typical for
Correct, yes.
jails to allow you to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Just a second. That's all I have, thank you.
Redirect examination.
Okay. So basically, they're shooting some holes in Patricia Bird's testimony, saying that they went to the jail and these are the things, but she doesn't record that. She just takes paper notes of her conversation. So then,
I found that real sketchy, honestly. If you were
well, it's
doing
because
the
if it's
investigation,
right, but if it's bad for the defense, they don't want a recording of it. So they just want
Right.
to talk to you a little bit and make sure this is going to be okay for them. Then we have Richard Chagrin on the stand. This is one of Adelson's friends that remember he came to the house during the jail call. He was at the house helping them figure out the internet or the visa problem and things like that. So I don't have any footage of him, but basically Chagrin just talks about, you know, he says that he's the one that suggested they only do a one-way because it would be cheaper. Do you think that Adelsons really care what's cheaper at this point?
I don't know. I mean, kind of. You kind of get that vibe from them, but at the same time, right? They're running.
They're
So-
running. Yeah.
Isn't it cheaper to just not buy a return ticket because you're not coming back?
There's a lot of push back and forth that they absolutely were coming back for that bar mitzvah in January. There's no way they would have missed that. They absolutely were. You know, and I was thinking to myself during that time, I'm like, you know, I thought, personally, maybe they were. Maybe if there was no arrest warrant at that point, they were coming back for the bar mitzvah. It doesn't mean they were going to stay here. I suspect they were going to try and slip quietly back into the country, attend the bar mitzvah, and head right back to Vietnam. Personal opinion, but
It's very possible, but they don't seem to understand that if your name is flagged for international travel, that's going to tell on you every time.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do think it's possible.
Sure. And then we have,
Well, wait, because isn't this the guy? Oh no, it isn't. Never mind.
well, then
Or
we
is
have,
it- yeah, this is the guy.
well, we
right?
need to get into that too. Yeah, Tim Kelly. So they have a guy that's a witness that's supposed to take the stand, and this is how it starts.
Would you step down from the witness stand and step outside the courtroom doors?
Judge kicks him out.
Once the rule of sequestration is invoked, it applies equally to both parties. How long was he sitting in the back of the courtroom watching the defense case?
I was not aware he was here, Your Honor. Our assistant was trying to find him. I went in the hallway looking for him. I didn't see him before we called the witness that he sat in here for. She sent him a text message asking him where he was because we were concerned he was not here, and that was about 1:30. I believe, based on speaking to my assistant, that he was present during all or part of Ms. Khan's testimony, which is completely unrelated to his very limited scope in this case.
State, do you wish to be heard?
No, sir.
What's that?
Judge Everett is pissed.
Mm-hmm.
What is the substance of the testimony to be offered?
The substance of the testimony is a home search with Mr. and Mrs. Adelson and Dan Markell.
He's a realtor, Your Honor.
Bailiff has informed me that he was present for 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not entirely sure how this testimony would relate to other matters that we've gone over. We need a moment to determine if the witness should be permitted to testify. We'll take it.
So I know that's hard to hear because none of them are sitting in front of their microphones, but essentially what happened is that they called Tim Kelly to the stand. It was brought to the judge's attention that Tim Kelly had been sitting in the courtroom listening to testimony. He was present during about 15 to 20 minutes of Tarana Khan's testimony. So then he's trying to hold the defense accountable because this is their witness. Like, they should have been on top of this. They should have never let this happen. And they're like, oh, we've been texting him, we've been calling him, we've been out in the hallway looking for him. Like, we had no idea this was happening. However, the scope of his testimony, he's a realtor, and he's just talking about a very limited scope of taking Adelson's and Dan Markell around looking for a house in Tallahassee about a year before the divorce. Why was he even there? I have no idea.
Totally irrelevant.
I'm not even going to show you his testimony because it's a waste of our time at this point. But that's all. The judge did come back and allow him to testify, but that's all he testified to. That a year before the divorce, he was driving around Tallahassee with Adelson's and Dan Markell looking for a house. That was it. That was the story.
Like, that's evidence of what?
I can't fathom what. Yeah. Mm-mm. And then we get Eddie Varnes on the stand. Eddie Varnes is another PI. I thought Eddie was greasy as hell. But we'll listen to a little bit of Eddie. It's pretty much the same story. He sat down also with Patricia Byrd and had a similar conversation with her. Are they proving that Patricia Byrd lied? Yeah, maybe they are. Maybe they are. Does this case hinge on Patricia Byrd? Not at all. I mean,
did he record his time with Patricia Byrd? No.
No.
He sure the fuck didn't.
He also did not.
Specifically direct you to when you were asked to speak with an individual by the name of Patricia Byrd.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when that was?
That was August 30th, 2024.
Okay. And what did you go to the jail to meet with her?
Yes, sir. I received a call from prior defense counsel saying there may be a person that has information on the case. He gave me the name, so at that point I had traveled to Leon County Jail, got there about 11 o'clock, and then was able to meet with Miss Byrd.
Okay. Now there are different kinds of visits that you can do at the jail. How did you meet with her?
I met with her in an attorney booth.
Okay, so you don't need to schedule an appointment for that?
No, sir.
Okay, just normal business hours?
Yes, sir.
And tell us, without telling us what was said, how did the conversation go?
Basically, I met her and I introduced myself and explained to her who I was. And I said, you understand you might have some information on the case? And she said yes.
And she might have some information on Donna Adelson's case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What did she have information about?
She told me she had some information about what Katie McBanawa had stated to her back in 2021 when they were incarcerated together.
Now, did she tell you that Donna Adelson offered her any sort of compensation to testify in her case?
No, sir.
Specifically, did Ms. Bird tell you that Donna Adelson offered to buy her a piece of land?
No, sir.
Did Ms. Bird tell you that Donna Adelson offered to buy her a trailer for that piece of land?
No, sir.
Did Ms. Bird tell you Ms. Adelson offered to buy her a vehicle?
No, sir.
What about veneers for her teeth?
No, sir.
So she didn't tell you any of those things that Donna Adelson, that she is saying Donna Adelson offered?
Absolutely not.
Did she tell you that Donna Adelson confessed to her?
Absolutely not.
Did you record your interview with Ms. Bird?
I was instructed by prior defense counsel to not record the interview. That wasn't unusual because we spoke to I spoke to several prior inmates throughout those 2 or 3 months. So to answer your question, no, sir, I did not record the interview.
Now, did Ms. Bird talk extensively about Ms. McBanawa?
Yes, she did.
Did she say that Donna Adelson told her to say those things?
No, absolutely not.
Did Ms. Bird know who Donna Adelson was prior to meeting Ms. Adelson?
No, she did not.
Okay, so it's pretty much what you expect. He's saying that one thing that he says later on in this interview is that he had said that Patricia Bird told him that Katie McBanawa told her that they knew they could do this because the Adelsons had a lot of money and that they had offered Dan Markel $1 million apiece to move to Miami, which isn't accurate. It wasn't something that the state called him on, but I wondered if the jury caught that. But at any rate, when the state came back on cross, they mostly hammered on the fact that you didn't record it. You didn't record it. And then surely you went straight back to the defense and said, hey, I've got some major evidence here. Do you want a recording of it? Do you want me to sit back down with her? And he was like, yeah, no, they don't want it recorded. They did not want that.
Yeah. Pretty sketchy.
It is. And, again, does the jury believe inmates anyway? Was kind of interesting that he threw a lot of shade on, in this interview about how, basically sketchy the honesty of inmates is. Who else is an inmate? Donna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donna's also a liar. Lying liar from Liarsville.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we wrap up the day with Josh Turner. Josh Turner is a member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office. The defense brings him in because he has a video. This is surveillance video from the jail. And it's a video with no sound of Donna and Drina sitting at a table doing some writing and drawing and things. And supposedly this was the day when the big script was written. I really don't understand. It was very long. It is never ending. I'm going to show you a couple of minutes of it, I promise.
Oh my God. It took
because
forever.
It's insanely boring. You can't hear anything. You see them writing things. You see them passing papers back and forth. That's pretty much the whole thing for like an hour. I don't know what the state or what the defense was trying to prove. They're trying to prove that Drina's the one that, she was the mastermind. She told Donna what to say in the script. I guess here's my challenge with that. Does it matter? I mean, yes, Drina said that Donna wrote it and came up with the script, which I agree with because it sounded like Donna wrote it, not like Drina wrote it. But
Right.
To the jury, this is my question. Does it matter who wrote it? It was written in Donna's hand.
Yep.
Donna agreed to this. So I'm going to show you a little bit of this. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, they kept trying to say that, that Drina wrote it or Donna didn't write it or that, and we know that Donna wrote it because the handwriting expert has already verified that Donna wrote it.
Definitively said Donna wrote it, yeah.
This whole thing was so messy.
Yes.
But you can see them over there in the corner, kind of.
Well, and you can just barely see them through this entire video.
Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Correct.
And they literally did an hour of this.
And the video doesn't change. They're just there passing the notebook back and forth, writing shit down, talking. But you can't hear anything, nor can you see what's written.
Yeah. Well, and they have 2 different notebooks, and we know that Donna wrote this in her pink notebook, and for a while they have a yellow notebook. Then Adrena starts with tearing a paper out of a notebook, and they're both writing on it or looking at it and passing it back and forth. It just proves nothing, except for that they sat together at this table, and the defense claims that Drina said that she put them at this table knowing that they would be on camera. Because, you know, she was at this point working with the prosecution.
I mean, they're barely on camera. There are
Barely
definitely
on
better
camera.
places to sit if they wanted to be for sure on camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From
Right.
this vantage point, we can't see what Miss Adelson is writing, can we?
Correct.
But we already know that Donna wrote it. The defense has already admitted that Donna wrote it.
They seem to be engaged in conversation.
So anyway, this was poor Josh Turner. This was the whole thing. This went on for a straight hour.
Well, and the defense attorney, he kept saying, well, we'll speed through some of this because it really is just the same the whole time. And then he'd speed through a few minutes, and then we'd watch like 15 more minutes of nothing. It was absolutely excruciating. I bet the jury was just furious about this.
And bored to death. Like, what are we supposed to be gaining from
One of them was
this?
the hot pink one
Right.
that we saw.
Nothing.
I think the state submitted into evidence. It's a hot pink.
Yep, and you see the hot pink one right there. But again, to me, on this one at least, I don't really know what the jury was supposed to take home from that, other than the state or the defense proving that Donna wrote that in the pink notebook.
Right.
That's all.
I mean, they both wrote the pink notebook was present. And
Yeah.
wasn't this the day? This was the day before she turned it over to the police the next day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she said that Donna told her that she needed to copy it in her own handwriting and then tear it out and return it to Donna. And instead, she took it to the state, who made copies of it and then returned it to her, and she returned it to Donna. At the end of the day, to me, if I'm a juror, Donna wrote it. Donna wrote the script. I don't care if Drina and Donna were teaming up on what to write. Donna wrote that in her own handwriting. She was colluding right there to get somebody to lie in court. I mean, period.
Right. And Drina reported it and didn't say those things in court.
Yeah. So that was the day. It was interesting to say the least. Like, I am still completely flummoxed about what the defense's strategy here is. Or if they're just trying to poke as many holes and make as much doubt as they can. I don't, except for maybe Patricia Bird. I really don't understand what today accomplished.
Well, they, with Ann Cunningham, there'd been quite a bit of testimony that Donna wasn't sad, that Dan was dead. She wasn't upset about it. She was very matter of fact about it. So this clearly didn't happen. Phone call with Ann Cunningham was her, being sobbing and hysterical and crying and being so sad and blah, 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 trying to prove that Donna did actually give a shit when Dan Markell got shot. But that's really questionable at this point because they can't even prove that call happened.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing that came up with the cell phone girl is that the night of the murder, there's that text of Donna saying, "We're at your house."
Yeah.
Remember? This is the theory that this is when they brought the money. And cell phone girl comes in and says, well, according to the the GPS like location data on the phones, their phones never showed that they were at Dan Markel's house. Or not Dan Markel. I mean, they were at Charlie Adelson's house.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, what's actually true is that the time that text message was sent, there was no location for either phone. Not just that it wasn't at Charlie Adelson's house, it just wasn't anywhere.
Anywhere. Yeah.
And this is after that hour that they supposedly lost.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to their office to pick up all the money out of the safe or whatever. Do a quick rinsey rinse of all the bills. I don't know. And so the defense tried to make it sound like that definitely did not put them there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what the prosecution brought out was it didn't put them anywhere. There was no location showing up for either phone.
Yeah.
When Donna sent the text, "We're at your house."
Yeah.
And she pointed out, well, there may not have been location, but Donna sent a text that said, "We're at your house." Like, why would she send a text that says that if she wasn't there?
Well, and then Charlie responds in the affirmative that he...
Yes. That he's almost there.
Almost there, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was really important because there's been questions around that. But ultimately what happened there is maybe they had location off on their phones, or maybe there was a malfunction with cell towers.
That's my guess. I don't know that these two know how to...
message happened.
Yeah. I don't think these two are smart enough to turn off location on their phone. I'm guessing this was more that there was just a failure in the system, especially because it was both of their phones. But yeah, the fact that they weren't anywhere else, that's the problem the defense has. They weren't anywhere else. There's nowhere else to put them. They were just nowhere, except for Donna saying, "We're at Charlie's house."
Yes. Yeah. So that was really, I felt like that was important too, because that really clarified that situation.
Yeah. So what will tomorrow bring? Well, we know that Charlie is still sitting in the Leon County Jail waiting to potentially testify. The state or the defense could still call him. The state could call him on rebuttal, or nobody's going to call him. We don't know. The defense initially had said they were going to call Donna. Are they still going to call Donna? We don't know. So who knows what tomorrow's going to bring. It appeared that they didn't have anyone. Today. Oh boy. It appeared they didn't have anyone else lined up today, and that's why court went as quickly as it did. Is tomorrow the day the defense rests?
Is it?
I'm going on yes.
I think probably.
I'm going on yes. I can't imagine they have a whole lot more left.
Yeah.
So we'll see. So we'll be back here. Bright and early.
Yeah. 8:30 a.m. Eastern again.
So 6:30 Mountain. Yep. So, and I'm only scheduling these shows one day at a time now because we're getting to the tail end. This is going to wrap up.
Definitely. Yeah. Because they'll need a little bit of time for their rebuttal witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're going to have a ton.
No.
At this point, but they'll probably have a little bit. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's what we've got for you tonight. We'll be back over on our Trials channel at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 a.m. Mountain tomorrow morning to watch some more of this clown show.
It is the most belligerent of belligerent herd circuses.
Yes, it is. It is very much that. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it so much. And you know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.
Season 6, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.